Hello survivors and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video. In this video we're going to be taking a last look, I guess, at Stephanie, because she just has under 24 hours to claim her. She is the season store character, the unique character for season 7, as you can see here, and we're very close, for me, to under a day. It'll be under a day once this video is out, and basically she's 25,000. She's a unique character, and this is going to be the best, if only, opportunity to get this character. Now, if you're a collector, obviously you're probably going to pick this character up because you know you're not going to get a better chance. But if you're not a collector and you do want someone who's going to make the difference, I think Stephanie will be useful on attack teams with Priya for probably the next couple of months, but not very much afterwards. In terms of, I think there's already better characters that you can put with Priya. I use Douglas, Earl, and I also use Cole on my attack team with my Priya team and Krista, where Priya and Krista are doing all the damage, the other characters are just there for control. It works pretty well. Stephanie has some pretty nice control though. She does have AP down on her rush, so that you cannot resist. She also has elusive, which is a form of control, because when someone gets attacked who has elusive, they don't give AP, but they also don't give AP when they attack somebody, which is great for S-class characters, because the amount of damage they put out, you can actually give someone a lot of AP even if they don't have an AP on defense weapon. She does have control on her active skill as well, where she has impair for 2 turns to a line of enemies, which is pretty nice. It's a shame they didn't have a bit more support on there, so instead of this character gaining the AP, it would be to someone else, but that's the way it is. It might have been okay in the 6-star era, but not so much in the S-class era. Basically, in the S-class era, you want all your 6 stars that you use to buff and give everything else to your S-class characters to make them even more powerful. You don't want your buffs going to your 6 stars unless it's something like defense buffs and stuff like that, just to keep them alive for longer. So it is kind of questionable why her role is support. I think they maybe need to introduce a new role, which would be control or disrupt, because she doesn't have anything that really supports anybody. She doesn't buff anybody. She only controls the enemy with AP drain. She only controls the enemy with elusive, and she only controls the enemy with impair on her active. She does have a specialist skill, but again, no support here. And it is indomitable, which would be good in the Gen 2 era for a defensive character, but not so much in the S-class era as an attacking 6-star, which is generally speaking what all 6 stars are going to become, is offensive 6 stars. And then eventually they're just not going to be used at all. Kind of what happened in the 6-star era, where you saw the odd 5-star on defense for a little while, then they just were no 5 stars on defense, maybe a shield here and there. The odd 5-star was used on attack, maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3, and then it just boiled down to maybe 1. There might be like 1 6-star or 2 6-stars that survive the S-class era. The likes of Alice might have place in attack teams, and the likes of Dr. Stevens, characters that really don't do anything for themselves, but they make other characters so much stronger. And Stephanie doesn't really fit that bill, so I don't think she's got that much longevity. She has got a little bit of time in terms of controlling people. She will require the gear from the store itself. Now, she could have been made quite good, and I have said this in the past about certain characters that get released within free-to-play with very, very small tweaks could have been better characters. So first off, in the Generation 2 era, an easy way to make her better instantly would have her just being an alert character. Because if she was an alert character, she could have worked with Donnie, and it could have expanded the sort of defense teams that free-to-play could easily use. There were no defensive free-to-play alert characters ever released in the Generation 2 era. Every single one was strong or tough. The only one that was released to a certain extent was Donnie, but he was an attacking character. He just had a defensive lead skill, which you couldn't use any alert characters with. It was so strange. So instantly she would have been better as an alert character. But to add to that, instead of her being a specialist of indomitable, if she was a specialist of command, she would have been really useful even now in the S-class era, because command's great. It also would have been the first free-to-play alert character that had command. And all in all, would have been actually a pretty good all-round character. AP control on the rush, impairs. So it would have been very small things to make her an actual usable character. I think Stephanie was close. She isn't as bad as some other free-to-play characters we've had in Legacy or in events. So all in all, I think Stephanie was just wide of the mark as a character being released. It wasn't too far away, but it was just too much of the same of what we've already had before. And I think as an actual alert character, she would have been useful to a lot more people. So I would not pick her up unless you are really into collecting characters like I am. That's why I picked my character up in both my regions. I also have quite an excess of the season store tokens. So if you have not got a huge excess, you may want to hold on to it for next season. However, the other characters in the store, like I talked about before, are pretty decent. Monica as a 5 stars, pretty good. Camilla as the ascendables is probably the best of the 3 if I'm honest. It took them 2 years to give us Jackson, so we may not ever get a chance to get someone like Camilla again, who's a all melee lead in terms of attack bonus and AP bonus. Very useful character, especially if you have James. You have to have this character, or another leader if you have James. I also picked up Rick in my other region. I didn't pick up Camilla in either of my regions because I have her already, but I picked up Rick in my other region because I didn't have him there. And I would just say he's useful. He's always good to have a lacerator, always good to have an option. And 12,000, it really isn't that expensive just to have him sitting in your roster waiting until something comes up. But do tell me what characters you picked in Season 7 of Leagues. That is the end of my video. Thank you very much for tuning in. And as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.